as well. All right. So without wasting much time, I have Jared Brenchley here, and I'm going to invite him on stage. And Jared, woohoo!
Hello.
Hello, hello. It's good to have you.
Yes, yes. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Yeah, the clock's never been my friend. That's why entrepreneurship is my definitely way to go
That,
for me.
that is it. That is it. No, I'm super excited to have you. I'm super excited. I see the sign behind you right there.
Oh
Uh
yeah, yeah.
yeah, this one. What does it say? 1 million.
So 1 million a year. If you
Mhm.
break it down, that's $83,333 a month, or it's 19,230 a week, or you can be getting $2,739 a day. So I have it up there just as a reminder, as like because I haven't quite hit $1 million a year yet, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
I love it. I love it. And I love the way it's actually broken down,
Mm-hmm.
so that it's easier for the brain to assimilate, to get it, like,
100%.
really? It's just 2,739 a
$39 a
day.
day. Yeah,
Isn't that so cool?
right. You just make 20 grand a month and you're in $1 million club, you know?
That's it. That's
Or
it.
a week, $20,000
A week,
a week.
a
That's it.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That is it. So right here on this summit, one of the things that would love to do is we want to uh, bring people up to the level where they need to start earning $10,000 a month on a
Yes.
consistent and more, okay, on a consistent basis. Okay,
Right.
some people hit it, once, and then they're like, you know what? Yeah.
Mhm.
So now the idea of scaling with confidence is to get people to see that it's possible, and just that sign right there sends a message to the nervous system that, you know what, it's doable. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's I see so many times people have a killer month and then the rest of the year is just not so hot. Right. So yeah, I think putting the systems in place and doing lots of leveraging can really help someone kind of get to that next point level for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anyway, so Jared, why don't you tell us about you, what you do, and
Right.
no.
Well, I'm a real estate investor. So what I do is I do fix and flips. I do with wholesaling, which is like a shorter version of fix and flip. Um, rentals, normal rentals, short-term rentals, so Airbnbs. So I've in 2021 we acquired like 15 short-term rentals in 8 months. That was a lot. So it was in that short period of time. So um and also what I also do is help other people start getting investing themselves to change their lives. Because when I first started, I actually worked at Walmart for 12 years. I was a Walmart manager for 12 years. And then when my wife got pregnant with our third child, I knew something had to change. Like it had to kind of appear because there's a gap between number two and number three, like 8 year gap. It was a surprise baby and a good blessing. Don't get me wrong. And so I knew something had to change because I was missing everything. I was missing every dance recital, every soccer game. I was salary member in management. I didn't see my son open up his Christmas present until he was 12. That was the first time I saw him actually open up a Christmas present Christmas morning because I was always on the overnights or that I was at the store. And so with that happened, I didn't want to miss any more of my current kids, nor did I want to miss the stuff for my newest child. And she's now she's 7. And so that's when I got started. I knew something had to change. I didn't know what, but something had to change. Then I went to the world of entrepreneur and became a real estate investor, learned that you can invest in real estate without using your own money or credit. And I learned how to leverage and to, with just like 15 to 30 minutes a day, able to quit my job and made my side hustle into my main hustle.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. There's a lot of questions I want to ask you,
Yeah.
but I'm going to take it easy because when you said earlier on, you said you bought 15 properties in
Yeah.
1 year. Okay. The first question that went to my head is, this guy must be really rich, and he has a lot of money,
Right.
saved up and all. I'd love to know, can you tell us what do you mean by other people's money? Like,
Mhm.
how do you do that?
Absolutely. There's so many different ways to buy real estate, get control of real estate without using your money or your credit. I've done in the past 6 years 90 plus transactions. I don't know the exact number, but it's probably, I want to count because my goal is to hit 100 before the end of the year. I'm probably pretty close. But I've never used my own credit. Never. Ever. Didn't need to, never, no, I don't want to. I'm sure one day I might, but I like saying I never have, so I'm going to keep on not doing it. And I can probably count the number on one hand how many times I use my own money. So there's so many different ways of buying real estate, and this is what really like blew my mind when I was as a Walmart associate, Walmart manager, sitting in a real estate workshop, just like it's a thing. This is real. Using other people's money and using other people's mortgages it's pretty incredible. So there's so many different ways of putting things together, structuring the deal. There's things like hard money lenders. So lenders, they don't care about the actual your credit. They just care that you know what you're doing and that the deal is gonna make money. There's private equity partners. And so just as you're networking and as you're having conversation with people, that kind of pops up. Another big thing which is very, very powerful, which most people don't know. Did you know that retirement accounts can invest in real estate? So retirement accounts can invest in real estate. There's a lot of rules, so don't just go willy-nilly. 3 of my last 5 short-term rentals was funded by someone else's retirement account. I'm going to give you guys a couple questions. It's going to be like I'm not raising money, just so you know, just so we're clear. But these 2 questions has made me a lot of money. So having a conversation with people, and I'll ask them this one question. Hey, hey, Bob, did you know that retirement accounts can actually invest in real estate? Well, no, I didn't. Oh, really? What do you, in your retirement account, what are you getting in your like returns in your retirement account? Most of them will say they don't know, or maybe 7%. Like, oh, hey, Bob, if this is a weird question, but if I was able to get you double that, would you be in actually and have it be backed by real estate? Would you be interested in working with me on this deal? Most people, they'll at least have curiosity to talk about it, have the conversation. So a lot of my transactions have been funded by other people's retirement accounts. I've had it where we've instead of buying the property, we partner with the seller, so they're getting a piece of equity instead. And a lot of times, sometimes they would have funds to put in for the rehab too as well. There's so many different ways of actually just structuring the deal where you don't have to put your money or use your own credit. And I can go on hours just talking about that one thing, but there's so many different ways. It's a broad subject, right? And it's just pretty incredible if you know what to do. If you have more tools in your tool belt, you can structure a deal to make that happen, which is really cool, which is true even for your own personal business.
Absolutely. I was just before you joined the Zoom, I was talking about last week I was at my mastermind, and one of the main topics there was real estate. And the idea was that as you're growing your business, you need to also not just grow the business, but grow your assets.
Yes. Wealth.
Exactly, grow your wealth. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I came back. I mean, I've done a couple. Well, I have one extra short-term rental.
Nice.
Now my husband and I, but I know that it was our money, our credit, our everything that created that. Now you're telling me that I could do this without,
Absolutely.
What?
You sure can. And you can go the route of traditional, like saving up a down payment and then go using your credit, putting 20-30% down for investment property. That's 100% okay to do and not a problem. I think there's a lot better way of doing it. Like for me, acquiring those 15 short-term rentals, I put in $8,000 my own money. That was it. And that was like on 2 of the transactions, but everything else was funded with OPM, other people's money, other people's mortgages. Where in fact, I'm picking up another property now where it's subject to the existing financing, which right now, because the interest rates are so high, because that's what I hear a lot of people saying that, oh, I can't do any real estate because the market's bad and interest rates are so high. There's more opportunities now than there has ever been for those that know how to do it. More, I promise you, because in an uptick market, everyone's a genius. You can fall ass backwards, pardon my French. You can fall ass backwards into a deal when the market's going crazy. and just sit on it for 6 months and appreciate 30,000. Like, great, I'm a genius. This is right. I'm a real estate investor. But once the market hits some pitfalls, and they have, and people that only have one exit strategy and only one way to kind of create the deal, they gone away. And so now before I would never even look on market properties, like stuff with agents, nothing like that. I wouldn't even look at it. Now half my stuff is from half my deals, and I'm getting like 2 deals a week right now, 2 to 3 depending. And half of them are coming from on the market. So despite what you may hear through the water cooler, right now is the best time to get into it because of the interest rate so high. More sellers are willing to do seller financing. They're more willing to do subject to the existing financing. So basically, like, remember those mortgage rates that people are getting like 2.7%, 3%? We're not going to see those in, like, who knows, if not ever again. But if you have a mortgage on your home and I buy it, and instead of me paying off that mortgage, we leave it in place. And with the terms you had at the 2.7, I make payments on your behalf, but the property is mine. Now, this is not assuming the loan. It's leaving it in your name. So I'm now buying the property using your mortgage, your credit, and I'm in this deal at a phenomenal interest rate.
But the question is, why would I want you to buy my property?
Great question.
Yeah.
That is a great question. And it's all about how you pitch it. It's all about it's not so much the reason why people don't get that. It's not because they're asking the wrong questions. They're asking at the wrong time. And the way they're asking is incorrect or not effective, I should say. So if you were a seller, so let's just put you in a situation. Let's just say you're going through foreclosure. You had some rough times. You're going through or maybe you're going through divorce or whatever. And so you need to sell the property quickly because you're going to auction in 2-3 weeks. Okay. Even if you threw it up on the market, a lot of times the property is not FHA ready, so it can't qualify for traditional financing because it needs some rehab. So when it comes down to it, because if we do subject to the existing financing, like I was saying before, it cuts down on my costs, so I can actually offer more. I can pay them out more as far as their equity. So for them, it's very beneficial because one, they're out of the property. They're going to go rent already. They already know they're going to leave anyways. So they already have that plan, but now they're going to have money in hand and they're going to be able to go and start their life over again. And here's the thing, like when we do this, we stop the foreclosure. So foreclosure is not going to show up on their credit report, which is massive. Instead of waiting them 7 years for them to be able to get into a home, they just need to wait 2 years for those old payments or even a year sometimes to knock off. On contrary, if I don't come in, they lose all of their equity. They have a foreclosure on their record, and now they still have to move regardless. So by me offering, like, hey, listen, you're still going to walk with money in hand. You're still going to be able to go off and fix your problem. And this is how we're going to protect you. So, and the amazing thing, most common question people have as far as sellers goes is like, well, what if you stop making payments? What happens then? And so there's something called a deed in lieu foreclosure. I don't want to get too much deep in the weeds, but we're basically, if I stop making a payment, because I'm making payments to an escrow company, and they're neutral, they care about me and the seller. And so if I'm late more than 30 days, they will transfer that property back over to the seller. Then the seller can either one, just hang on to it because there's a renter now. Now they're getting cash flow, or they just put it back in the market and sell it. They keep all the down payment. They keep every cent I've made so far, all the equity I built in the property, and now it's theirs. When the worst case scenario is that they make more money, it's kind of hard for them to say no.
That's true. That's true. So now my next, I mean, I'm looking at our time here, but my next question now from there is there a lot of people that go into foreclosure, as in, for this to make sense, based on the scenario you just gave now, it needs to be a foreclosure, right?
Well, that's one. Foreclosure is a great way to go. And you watch any YouTube video, and that's like their foreclosures. That's a great way to go. It's not the only way to go as far as like where to find motivated sellers that would be willing to do something like this. I found people that are it's on the market, and they just want to sell they want to get as much as they can, and they're willing to leave the mortgage in place because right now they're trying to sell a property at 600,000, depending on where you live, right? But because interest rates are 8.25, 35% right now, people that work be able to qualify can't. So it's a great option for them to either do like creative financing because they'll get the money. And as far as foreclosures go, there's more foreclosures going on right now than there has been in years. You know, we're back almost 2008 times as far as the number of foreclosures. When COVID hit, there was something called mortgage forbearance, which means if I was having trouble or whatever, I can just say, hey, Mr. Mortgage Company, I need to not make payments because of COVID. And so they would pause. They didn't necessarily pause. They would just like, okay, we're not going to foreclose on you. It's still going to show up in your credit report. They did mortgage forbearance.
Mhm.
We're just not going to foreclose on you. And then all of the forbearance, when it ends, the bank is like, hey, we're going to put the payments in the back end. No, it's like, if I've missed a year's worth of payments because of the mortgage forbearance, I got to make the payment now. And here's the thing. Sometimes people can just refinance it back into the loan, the amount that they owed. But think about this. If you're unable to make your payments, how's your credit normally? Because if you can't make your mortgage, you probably having a hard time making your credit card payment, having a hard time making your car payments, things like that. So a lot of times when they're struggling, unfortunately, they fall behind in everything else. And so they're unable to refinance and get those payments. And now suddenly this help that they got during COVID, it actually screwed them in the long run because they can't make a $30,000 payment at the end of the year or whenever the mortgage forbearance ends. So then it goes into foreclosure, which is unfortunate. And so going in and having that conversations, and you got to be, you know, there, being a real person really gets me through, because if once they hits the notice of default list, when the start of the foreclosure process, they've heard from 10 other investors by the time I get to them.
Mhm.
But me coming to them as a real person and being sympathetic, like when I would go knocking doors, I'd bring my at the time I would bring my 8-year-old daughter with me, and we're in Utah, so it's cold. I'll knock on doors. I'm like, Jocelyn, act really cold. She's like, and so we knock on doors. Suddenly, I'm not a sales dude. I'm just a guy with a family. And then then they're like, oh my goodness, you poor thing, come inside. Like, okay. And we go inside and we have a real conversation. You know, I mean, these people are literally in the worst, and I'm sorry not to go long, but these people in the worst times of their lives, you know, and it needs to be handled with love and compassionate. And once you have that, the walls come down and you're able, they'll allow you to help them and get through the situation. Like I've had people where they were yelling at me and cussing me at the very beginning. At the end, we were hugging and crying. Like that's why I really love what I do, because of that, and be able to help them out. So
I love that. I love that. And I love, you know, ladies in the chat, I am getting, I mean, great ideas from what Jared is saying, even outside of real estate, because, you know, when I teach you to do videos, one of the things that we always want to do is you want to be able to meet your audience at the point of need. I really love the strategy of bringing your 8-year-old to the door and say, act cold, right? You know,
it works.
want to get in, you want them to bring
Yeah.
you in. You know, that is amazing. That is amazing. Now, I want to bring this back to scaling with confidence. And I have so many questions, but then time, right? You know, the question that I would love for you to address, and maybe I'm still going to go back to another one, is for someone that is building their business, they're a coach, they're a consultant, and they're working towards the 10K months. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and you know how it is, you know, when you're at the beginning of the business, sometimes it goes up and down and up and down. And then sometimes you actually want to quit, you know. Now, how do you think this is worth pursuing for someone that is at this stage in their business, that is building? Or would you rather say that they, you know, and I'm not just talking about the financial aspect of things now, I'm talking about the mind space, okay,
Yes.
that you're going to use to actually build another thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the payoff for someone like this?
Sure. No, that is a great question, because what I find with new entrepreneurs, or not even new entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs that just in general, whether they're new or not, uh, a lot of times it's that this capital kind of holds it back. So they can't put in money in ads. They can't do a lot of those things what they want to do. If they're a coach, for example,
Mhm.
they want to help people. There's a reason why they got into the industry. They want to be able to touch lives. They want to be able to. I mean, I'm sure making money is obviously there, but it's I'm sure that the reason why they're coach because they have a bigger passion to help people.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times the thinking about doing when they're so like wrapped up emotionally with their clients and trying to get more clients and thinking like, oh man, how can I possibly add one more thing to my plate? And the thing is, when if you change the mindset into as like an investor, like when I'm looking at a property, I don't think how much does this property cost. I think, what is this property going to get me? If this property is going to get me $1,000 in cash flow, and then it's going to help me in my tax burden, so I'm not paying my arm and a leg in taxes, and it's going to help me, create wealth. Oh, then it's worth 500,000. Yeah, absolutely, it makes perfect sense. Absolutely. So when you're looking like, oh, another thing to do, when I first started, I was going to school full time, 18 credit hours, and I was working 60, 70 hours a week. So I was able to do this with like 15 to 30 minutes a day. My only recommendation if someone wants to do this, because if you just keep on putting onto your plate, like, "Oh, I'm going to do it next time," there's never a convenient time ever to get into anything new or to continue doing anything. There's not a convenient time. Those times don't exist.
Mhm.
But there's something I call sacred time. So for me, when I first started working the 30, 15 minutes a day, was this I just created sacred time where at from 4 to 4:30 or whatever the time was, I let my family know, like, dad's off limits for that time. And I just was at first there was a season of learning, and then there was a season of action, and then there was a season of reaping what I sowed.
Mhm.
So, and that's the biggest thing is not giving up and to be able to see what this avenue could do for you. If you had enough passive income coming in where you didn't have to worry about your bills anymore, if you had 4 or 5 rentals going through, which you didn't have to use your credit or much or any of your money, how would that
Mhm.
affect your current situation? Would you be able to help your clients better if you had that in? Because a lot of times we're trying to get a sell and we're like, man, I really need to sell this month. I'm really hurting. And so that comes across. And so you're not able to help your clients because there's that sense of kind of desperation almost sometimes.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I think it's not necessarily a question of like, how can they add one more thing? Like, how can they not add it?
I
It-
love
It's
that.
it's be, it's because that'll give them the power to help more clients, to the freedom to do what they want to do. My wife and I, we had a tragedy a year and a half ago with our daughter. We almost lost her, and I was able to not do any money making activities for over 6 months, and we were fine because our investments paid for all of our bills. I mean, if I was still working at Walmart, I would have lost my job and probably lost our home, and who knows, God, what else would have happened. And so,
Mhm.
because of this blessing, that's why I'm so passionate about it. And I'm a bit long winded. So, but
Mhm.
yes, that's again, there's never a convenient time. It's just a matter of when, and then can you do it 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes, 30 minutes a day? You
I
know,
love
are we watching Netflix or can we actually learn about doing some cool stuff?
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Jared. I have Kat here, who's our next speaker. But I know that ladies, if you have questions for Jared, please put in the chat. And Jared has a gift for us. Now, there's a lot, and I'm even thinking, anyway, there's a lot that you can, because in my mastermind this year, my coach actually planned this real estate investing into the year for us, and so just listening to this and listening to what you have what you're sharing and what's possible is amazing for me, especially coming from a place where I've used my credit and more, and then it's like, can we afford more? Can we do more? Can we do more? Right
Right.
now, going to a place of, you can actually do it even without your own money, and you have people that are doing it. So I would love for anyone that has questions for Jared, please put in the chat. And he already put the gift that he has for us. Can you just briefly tell us about what you have, the gift that you have for us, while I get Kat ready to jump on, because I know she also has another event that she has to get back to.
No, absolutely. So I'll be quick, and thanks, Kat, for allowing me still a few moments of your time. But so it's a sneak peek. It's a sneak peek to a book I'm currently writing, which is Real Estate Cheat Codes: A Cheater's Guide to Massively Discounted Deals. So it's all about how do you find those off market deals? How do you find those properties, and how do you even negotiate? So I go in a lot of ways where you can leverage other people's skills, so this gift is three of my chapters, and a lot of them go into finding deals without putting a ton of your time or energy into it, and work and leveraging other people's experience and their resources.
You know, I for everyone, I think just hanging out with Jared would expand your mind. You know, before you came in here, I was talking about, you know, this summit. One of the reasons I do it is just to be able to be in the, you know, in proximity with people that are doing amazing things. It expands you, you know, and so please take advantage of the gift that Jared has for us. Thank you so much, Jared, for sharing your wealth of experience and knowledge with us this morning. And I definitely will be coming back, you know, to learning from you. And yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you.